Welcome to Austin, Texas. Well, hello and welcome to Austin, Texas. We are in the Lone Star State at the Circuit of the Americas for the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship. This is round 10. Now, thanks for joining us. I'd love to tell you that it's a beautiful morning in Texas, but I'm afraid it's not. It's what we would say in the UK, it's muggy. We've just had some rain, there's low cloud, it's hazy, and what you can see here is some drama, difficult tyre choice because the surface is very, very slick. As you can see, some of the cars still up on jacks to make a last-minute tyre call. Will they switch? Will anyone switch to these? That's the wet tyres, which obviously try and remove standing water, but there isn't a lot of standing water, but it is incredibly slippery. Let's jump in and have a word. Good morning, Timur. Give us an idea how difficult the tyre choice decision is, considering you only had 2 laps at warm-up and it's rained since then.
Yeah, that's at the moment is really we are thinking about, because it's almost all the corners is the right one, and only one corner is left, which is a gravel section, and we are thinking that maybe can be rain tires on the right side will be mostly stable on that corner. But still the problem will be on the start line because so big difference between the grip on the tires, and it can be twisting the car into the side.
Yes, everyone will just turn right.
Not so much, but it's still it can be like a doggy style of start, and the guys who, because the slicks are more stable on the tarmac, full tarmac, and yeah, it's not wet on the track now, and we need to risk a little bit, and it will be like 50-50.
So how long have you got till you have to make that final decision?
I think it's already need to be done now because it's a group is starting, and in 3 minutes I think it will be our run 4. We need to change 2 because we are 50-50 at the moment, and but the decision is taken already in the 10. That's that no back way. That's all.
All right. Well, very good. Good luck, Timur. We look forward to Timur's doggy style start. Let's go and jump in here and have a little word with. This is nice. We have Gerland Schritt and Timmy Hansen talking. Gentlemen, are you comparing notes about the decision about tyres, or what were you talking about?
No. I was talking about track, new track for next year.
Okay, well, let's focus on Circuit of the Americas. Timmy, when I spoke to you yesterday, you were quite heated about how you felt about certain driving standards. Have you calmed down, or do you still feel that the Audi drivers were a little bit unfair yesterday?
Yeah, of course, after the race you're extra upset, but I still keep that opinion that those 2 drivers are the hardest one to race. There have been many moments where I think I've been treated extra unfair when I'm racing with them, so yeah.
And I do understand that Andreas did get a warning for yesterday.
Yeah, as I understand, he got a mutual warning. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, good luck today, clean fighting. What's your tyre choice decision?
Right now there are slicks on the car.
All 4?
Yes, but we're watching the skies, and we don't know what's out there in the track, how the mud will affect the grip. So it's a gamble. Okay, well, good luck. Good luck. Bon courage to Gerland Schritt. Let's have a little wander over here, see if we can speak to one more driver. Well, look, here's the car. It's pulling up to the tyre checking area, coming into the pre-grid. Let's try and just hold up, because all eyes on this guy today. As you're going to find out shortly, he could seal the championship today, but he has not had everything his own way today. Yesterday was not easy for Jan Kristoffersen. Let's see, as we'll just open the car door. Jan, before you get out, first of all, tyre choice, what are you going for?
Dry.
Completely dry, all 4?
Yes.
And that's based on what you've seen out there, or because it was quite wet during the ARX race?
Yeah, and it's based on my feeling.
Okay, but you don't mind it if it's wet anyway, do you?
No, it's okay. I think it's going to be, looking at the last race for the ARX, it's all about the driver which is adjusting quickest for the conditions and trying to adapt as quick as possible. So it's going to be tricky.
And where's your head at, sort of championship-wise? Because yesterday was not ideal for that.
No, but anyway, even if I don't secure the championship now, hopefully I will target it to do it in Buxtehude, and if not in Buxtehude, in South Africa. So the championship has been, the mind is in the same place as it was in Barcelona in the early season. So it's just about to get it, and whenever it's done, it's done. But the target is just to get it.
Okay, well, good luck today. So that's Johan Kristoffersson, a big day for him, but he's as cool and calm and collected as the Iceman ever is. Now, if you weren't with us yesterday, we were live all the time. Where were you? But just to be nice, we'll bring you bang up to speed with what happened in qualifyings 1 and qualifying 2 before we hit qualifying 3.
An expectant crowd waited in the grandstands to see the World Rallycross cars in action for the very first time on American soil, and they weren't disappointed. Sebastian Loeb with clever tactics off the start, running the world champion Johan Kristoffersson out wide along with his teammate Timmy Hansen. Loeb would hold on for the win. Kristoffersson was P5. This was Andreas Backward running wide. There was only one blue groove line that led to some contact as drivers tried to find ways past on this narrow section of circuit. Kevin Eriksson losing out, but not as badly as Gulan Schischerit. But Solberg was absolutely flying. He took the fastest time in Q1. On to Q2, and Johan Kristoffersson desperately needed a good run to make it up into the top 12. Unbelievably, he was 13th after Q1. He got the whole shot, got out in front, and it was lucky because behind him, Larsen was spun round. Kristoffersson's time was incredible, 1.5 faster than Solberg had gone in Q1. Then it was time for his teammate to respond. Solberg getting the whole shot. Behind him, Sebastian Loeb. When Loeb merged later in the race, he took out Ekstrom and was given a 5-second penalty for that. Hansen too was fighting with the Audis. Here he is trying to come around the outside of Matthias Ekstrom backward, the main beneficiary of all that action. But nobody could touch Solberg, and he even managed to edge his teammate Kristoffersson by 0.6 of a second to win Q2 and be the overnight top qualifier.
Petter, it's been a while since I've said this to you, but you are top qualifier overnight, and you look very, very happy with your performance.
Of course, I'm happy. You know, I had a very tough year with my sickness, you know, and almost retired from the season, and coming back to do this speed and going so well now, it's very, very emotional. So I'm much better form, and it's fantastic to do this. Have the confidence again, and I can see better and more energy. So I'm happy to come back again after the very difficult with the sickness this year, you know.
Well, it's great to see you back and feeling better.
Thank you.
Well, you can see there what that meant to Petter Solberg. 2 wins out of 2 sessions. He is ahead of Ekstrom, Backward, Kevin Hansen, Johan Kristoffersson, Timmy Hansen, Sebastian Loeb, Niklas Gronholm, the top 8. Eriksson, Markland, Timosyanov and Schischerit are currently in, with Baumanis, Larsen and Demustier looking for a spot in the semis. That meant a lot to Petter Solberg, a huge amount. Dan Rook, he was really emotional, and it was genuine. We all know he's he's not called Hollywood because he's not a bit dramatic, but that was genuine.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see him getting a bit emotional. Obviously, it can be sad at times, but for him that's happiness tears. You know, he feels like a big relief that his sickness is starting to pass, and he's able to get back out there and show his pace.
Yeah, and he did show it. You know, to go 0.6 quicker than Kristoffersson when we knew how fast Johan was. I mean, Johan was flying yesterday. We were so impressed with his car control, and then Solberg comes out and edges him by 0.6. So, it's a good performance. But Johan as well. Neil called him the Iceman. You know, he's just so calm, calculated. He's like, I'm going to take slicks. You know, so he's I just want to get it done. He's not fussed necessarily about doing it here.
No, he knows he's got a good buffer for the championship, and he doesn't have to get it done here. Obviously, it would be nice for him to take the pressure off of himself for the last 2 rounds, but you know, he knows that he doesn't have to go all out just to win it.
So will it be a no-risk strategy for Kristoffersson? What tyres are these guys going to run? How's the track going to develop? The sun's kind of poking through the clouds, but we had this earlier and then we had more rain. Okay, ready then for Q3 World Rallycross Championship, round 10, Kota in the USA. Anton Markland on the inside, debuting for GCK, 10th after Q2. Loeb's in 7th. Baumanis, needs to get inside that top 12, as do Demustier and Larsen. So Larsen's gone for a pair of wets on one side. Loeb, Baumanis and Demustier have gone for new slick tyres. Left side for Baumanis and Loeb, all round for Demustier. Markland, unknown, or possibly used slicks on there. So we're bringing you the information as fast as we can. We've got spies down on the grid looking. Dan, what's your thoughts on tyre choice?
interestingly there, seeing Larson going for wets on the outside. Maybe he's looking for a better run out of the left-hand hairpin here to try and get a bit more grip. You know, the tarmac is relatively dry, but the loose is down.
Here we go then. Good start by Loeb on the inside, manages to edge Markland, going to shut the door on him. Balmanis is going to go standard lap, Joker lap. And Loeb leads on the standard lap from Markland. So Markland follows him in. Yannis Balmanis really needs a good performance here. He's managed to get the lead of the 3 cars that have gone into the Joker, so a bit of damage for Larson as well from turn 1. A good start for Balmanis and Loeb, and yesterday this was the thing, drivers were saying they didn't really mind whether they jokered first or not, but they wanted to be at the front of whichever train they were in. Yeah,
we can see the effects of how the train was making the guys at the back of that train lose position to the guys that had already got into the Joker on lap 1. So for Loeb and Balmanis here, they're both in the perfect positions. Obviously Balmanis would like to close down the gap to Loeb. We've got a 3-second gap. He needs to bring that down if he wants to leapfrog Loeb, but he's going to put himself in a better position over the guys like Larson and Bustier.
Balmanis loses a tenth of a second in each of those first 2 sectors. It was 3.0, then 0.1, 0.2, so it's going the wrong way for him. Loeb, as we would expect, doing a great job, and Anton Markland too, adapting to a completely different car, and now he's had different conditions thrown at him. I think he's doing a good job. You know, he has been a European Rallycross champion in supercar. You always think best in the family team, but there seems to be a nice atmosphere at GCK. Liam Doran's enjoying it, and hopefully Anton is as well. Yeah,
they've come in, they've using their hashtag, changing the rules, and they're really trying to mix it up. And we saw him struggling yesterday with some starts, but he managed to get away cleanly here. Maybe missed out to Loeb a little bit, but he's still tagged on to the back of him. He's only lost a tenth over that 1 lap, so putting in some good pace here.
If you've not been watching America's Rallycross this weekend, the track conditions changed unbelievably quickly. So we had 2 heat races in their supercar run, and the first race was 17 seconds faster than the second one. Bear in mind that the race duration here is only 2.5 minutes. Oh, look at Loeb. Loeb quite deep on the way to the Joker, but a lovely straight exit. Carrying a huge amount of speed down the braking tunnel. Of course, that's what he did yesterday, and then actually got a bit too deep on the brakes. In fact, Balmanis gets Markland. Tidy move by Balmanis there. Had to react very quickly. Markland's out in the dirt. He's going to lose out to Larson. Poor old Anton makes a mistake right at the end.
So yeah, just you were saying there, when Loeb ran deeper, he was able to catch on to, I think it was extra.
Yeah, he got a penalty for it in the end.
So Markland there, he didn't have anybody to hang himself in, and he just got himself out in the loose and couldn't get cast off.
Loeb's going to take the checkered flag, but is this track going to develop? As I say, we've had rain this morning, and the difference in pace in the space of 5 minutes was a huge 17 seconds. Lap times now, 35s. He managed to get 1:34 in from Loeb. So 34.6 was his best lap time. Loeb, 2:27.5. So it's around between 2 to 4 seconds slower than it was yesterday. So there's not a huge amount. I would say the track's come back again, Dan, but just a little bit of drizzle will kill it for anyone who's next up. Pretty even start across the pack again. No, so not so good for Markland again, was it?
No, he's not too familiar with the start procedure. You know, it does vary a little bit in each of these cars, and where he has to find the biting point for the clutch may not be a help compared to what he was used to. But able to keep up the pace, and unfortunately here, just a little too deep on the brakes, and Balmanis able to tuck it up the inside there, classy move. And then Markland struggling to get away and losing out again to Larson, because you can just see how much thicker that dirt is on the outside of the hairpin there.
Yeah, got to find traction. Loeb was saying that yesterday in the dry. It's a little bit damp today. How much faster will this track get? Interesting first race here. 2 more to come in Q3.
Sebastian, first race of qualifying 3. Give us an idea of what those conditions are like, because it looks slippery.
Yeah, I did a very good race. I think no mistake, good push. It was really good, but on another side, I don't know where I will be, because it's just drying, just the condition we don't want when we are in the first heat, the first group of the heat, and that's it. We had a penalty yesterday. We have to pay it, so hopefully the time will still be good. I just hope, because I did my best.
It was good. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Loeb there, you know, he's kind of ruined the penalty now, but yesterday I don't believe he took Ekstrom out on purpose. He did what he did there, which is to go super hard off the Joker and deep on the brakes. Just unfortunately, he'd set his trajectory and so had Ekstrom, and neither of them could change it when you're on the limit, Dan. You're a passenger's not the right word, but you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, so when his car is on the limit of trying to stop, you know, you're sat there, you're going, please, please, please don't take anybody out, because you know you can't put any more input into the car, and you know that maybe you've just left your brake in that a tenth or two too late, and from that point onwards, you know, you are sort of a passenger. You're not obviously skating off the track, but you're not able to get the car stopped where you want it to be.
Can't change trajectory. He took out Ekstrom. The stewards gave him a 5-second penalty, and that dumped him into that first race. So Loeb possibly getting the worst of the conditions here. Is he going to dry out, and can these guys go faster? Q3 race 2 on a drying track. Matthias Ekstrom, Gulan Shisharit, Timmy Hansen, Kevin Eriksson and Timo Timosyanov. Look at that, Ekstrom up in second, Shisharit and Timosyanov down in 11th and 12th. Timosyanov has gone for 2 wets on one side of the car. Timmy Hansen has gone for 2 new slicks on the same side of the car. The other guys all apparently on used tyres. We know Chris Thompson, who's in the last race, has chosen to take slicks. We also know that Chris Thompson is superb in slippery conditions. But can these guys go quicker than they went in the first race? Sebastian Loeb is top of the timesheet at the moment. Okay, Marshall is ready to indicate to these guys that they can go. Thumbs up. And now they're going to get to feel out the grip levels on the way down to the first corner for the first time. Ekstrom and Hansen with a little bit of contact yesterday, and there's certainly a little bit of needle building between those two. Green light. Hansen is left absolutely standing on the line. Timmy Hansen with a terrible start. What's wrong with that car? Looks like he had to get it away on the starter motor. So Ekstrom through the first corner on the inside with Shisharit. Around the outside, Eriksson and Timosyanov. Timmy Hansen has pulled off from the commentary box. Timmy Hansen has pulled off and gone straight back to the paddock. So that is a disaster for Timmy Hansen in the second factory Peugeot. Timosyanov chasing down Eriksson.
Yeah, not perfect there for Timmy. No idea what's going on. We're going to have to obviously report that back to you a bit later on. But out in front, we've got Ekstrom. He's starting to pull a gap now on Shisharit and giving himself a lot of space to play with.
Unusual to see that. If they do the practice start, then normally you get to go. But there's something seriously wrong with Timmy Hansen's car. So he's in the fight, of course, for second, or a little bit deep there, possibly from Shisharit. But he's hard on the gas through the throttle. He's going to try and come round and edge out Eriksson and Timosyanov. Nicely done. So Shisharit and Eriksson have managed to edge Timosyanov. Good move there from Shisharit's spotter to send him to the Joker straight away before these guys could bang in the lap times and get past.
Yeah, because they knew that Eriksson had clean air, and I'm sure that Shisharit's probably tagging onto the back of Ekstrom, but just dropping him a little bit, so getting in there to get the space. And I love that when you see them do the wide line in the Joker lap, it really sets them up for a perfect exit to carry the speed out there. Thankfully for
Ekstrom goes now, looks to talk through it now.
So yeah, so he just got a nice straight line out. He's trying not to run onto the paint too much, because that line's going to be even slippier than the normal time.
And that's what we saw Marshall do, isn't it? Get on the paint just a little bit, and then when he got on the brakes, just slid a little bit further into the zone. But look how much Ekstrom has edged these guys by 2.5 seconds for the 2016 World Rallycross champion. Moving across to the left-hand side, he's using the full width. We've seen some people go offline here and just use the width of the Grand Prix track, and that's possibly to do with the surface difference, Dan?
Yeah, maybe. Obviously, the F1 guys are using the part on the inside of the rumble strips there, the curbs, so there may be a bit more grip put down there, but obviously we've got a lot of our guys going onto the outside there, so trying to open up that the last corner of the end of the straight there to get a smoother line.
So watch for Ekstrom here, and you see what Dan was talking about. Shisharit and Eriksson down. Target time 2:27.567. That is low. Here's Ekstrom all the way out to the edge of the run-off area, comes in across the outside of the F1 curbs, and then back onto the dirt section to relink into the stadium. Loeb's time not looking too bad. I think Ekstrom's going to beat him. He does. 1.8, I think that is. It is indeed. So 1.8 seconds faster. That's about 4/10 a lap. And of course there's one race still to come, so is he going to dry out enough? Ekstrom, what did he do? 2:34.6 and a 34.5, so the actual lap pace is pretty similar. Ekstrom may be doing a better job in the Joker lap than Loeb did, because he managed to edge him by a little bit. He's only edged him by a couple of tenths here and there. There you go, Loeb manages to hold himself in P2, so Ekstrom leads Q3 at the moment. Gulan Shisharit is up into third, Valmanis in fourth, and those guys were in 12th and 13th place, so great job by them. There's Hansen. He leaves the line, Dan, but, you know, he knew about that, I think, before the launch, maybe.
Yeah, it didn't look like he even, you know, set the car up to go off the line, didn't see any wheel spin, he just drove off calmly and unfortunately just drove straight into the pits.
So maybe broke it during the pre-launch, not sure. This was Ekstrom leading then from Ericsson and Tim Asianov, you ride on board, but you can see there them leaving the F1 track, and here's Ekstrom staying off the paint, Dan, you were saying, on the brake to get it turned in.
Yeah, he was able to keep it a bit tighter there compared to some of the other guys we've seen come through there. Probably like St Markland's unfortunately running over from touching that paintwork, but Ekstrom able to get the car stopped and turned in.
Dominated that race, nearly 2 seconds quicker than Sebastian's time. How much of that do you think is down to the drying track?
So, didn't hear your question, but...
How much of the quicker time than Sebastian is it down to the drying track?
No, it's track evolution. Sebastian is a great driver and he did nothing wrong, and I think I did a clean run, but track evolution is so big when you have a drying track, so I'm pretty sure the other guys will go even faster, but that's the name of the game. We all had the chance yesterday to do a better job, and yeah, just take it from here.
Yeah, it was good anyway, get a race win.
Yeah, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Ekstrom happy enough there, saying that the track is developing, and of course he's right, and we've got these 5 guys still to come. Kevin Hansen, look, P4 overnight for Kevin, doing a really good job. Johan Kristoffersson P5, and he will desperately want to move up from there. Dan, it's super important for Kristoffersson. Yeah, okay, I think he'll take the championship here, probably. We thought he might take it at the end of Q4 if he got a TQ. We've got some maths to do, bear with us, it's complicated. He'll want to be at the front though anyway, regardless of the championship, because it's hard to pass here, and the grids for the semi-final is going to give you a massive advantage if you're on that front row.
Yeah, so he needs to make sure he puts in some good clean runs here, even if he's slotting in behind Petter and just following him around to make sure those guys are, you know, try and get maybe 1 or 2 at the end of the qualifying, just so they get, you know, pole position for both VWs going into the semi-finals.
And separate semi-finals would be nice, wouldn't it? Because then you don't have to worry about tactics with your teammate. There's Kevin doing a good job, as I say, in the yellow peril. More yellow cars, please, teams. We like that. Any alternative colours are fine. GCK with just the separate coloured wing mirrors. Changing the rules, they say. We're giving each other some stick on social media. They know it's hard for us to see the difference between those cars. I'm looking forward to the final 3 rounds when all 3 of them are in the same race or something. That'll be interesting. So if you're wondering, you can see on the inside, Solberg has a black roof and Kristoffersson has a white roof. That's the way you try to tell them apart. If you've watched this for a long time, you'll know I'm still not very good at it sometimes. That's fine. Kevin Hansen with a yellow Peugeot. You can now see why I'm so fond of it. It's easy to spot. Right, let's take a look at the grid then for the final race of Q3. The track is still drying on the inside. Solberg, next to him Kristoffersson, Kevin Hansen backward, Niklas Gronholm. Here we go. New tyres for backward and Kevin Hansen on the outside. Solberg first, having won both the sessions. Kristoffersson needs to get up into the top 4 to at least be on the front row. If he can be on the front row.
A little nudge here again, back inside under braking. Usually they're going a bit wider before the corner, but he stays very tight inside.
Well, they may well end up in the same race next time out. Solberg takes it to the 325.1, but that is a second off the pace of the 324.1 of Matthias Ekstrom. So what have Audi found? Because Solberg was in the clear, totally out of danger there, and Ekstrom has done him by a second. So Gronholm's on the inside, Kristoffersson trying to carry it around. Gronholm now having a look up the inside of Petter Solberg. Kristoffersson's on the inside down towards the braking zone and finally decides to slot in.
Kristoffersson had to be super careful there. You know, you had Gronholm in on the grippy line, and it could have been so easy for Kristoffersson to lose his braking point and then miss out to Kevin and just come off the joker lap. So perfect to, you know, maybe he lost track position, but he's not lost too much time.
No, a great job, Niklas Gronholm. I'm so impressed with Niklas this year. Just the improvement we've seen, Dan. You know, as a young driver yourself, it's hard to make big steps, and he's made huge steps.
Yeah, he's done very, very well this season. Obviously, the statistics show he's the most improved driver so far this year, and I'm surprised he even managed to find grip at turn 1.
Thompson gave a little nudge on the inside there, and Gronholm doing well to hold on. So Johan's going to lose a bit of time here, but if the track is drying, oh, Johan, have a look up the inside, trying to find the traction on the exit. Can't get enough though. Gronholm's going to continue to lead him at this point. Behind Backward is in front of Hansen, and that, of course, is because Backward went standard lap and Kevin Hansen went Joker on lap 1. So Kevin, the only driver to Joker so far. I wonder if Kristoffersson might go. He won't want to end up behind the others. And we've seen Gronholm to the Joker. So Gronholm goes Joker. That's trying to cover off Kevin Hansen maybe behind. Niklas Gronholm, look at the merge here. Or Kevin's going to get him on the undercut. Kevin trying to have a look up the inside, but Gronholm doing well. Niklas is pushing harder. He's going to try and get back inside. So, okay, so that's interesting. That's Balmanis now we've seen do that, and now Kevin Hansen too. So people are starting to find a way through down at that merge, even though they're in the outside position. There's a way to undercut.
So yeah, we can see starting to see some really good merges here, and obviously on the way out the Joker lap, it's quite tight compared to when you're on the standard lap. So these guys really have to try and check up to make sure they can get it turned in.
Yeah, got to hold that inside line. Fastest lap of the day, Johan Kristoffersson finally released from behind Niklas Gronholm. You can see what these two Volkswagen Polos can do. Solberg keeps it tidy on the brakes. They're a second between the two of them. Johan chasing him down. Lap times, what are they at? 34s we're doing. So yeah, it's not as fast. This is not as fast as they were going in the previous race. Target time regardless is at the bottom of your screen, 2:25.717. That is Ekstrom's time. Is Ekstrom going to take this session? Solberg so close, touching the tyres. I think checker flag falls. When does the clock stop? Not enough. 2:26.5. Solberg won both sessions yesterday, but on a drying track today, not able to capitalise. That is a great job by Matthias Ekstrom there. He managed to beat everybody in his race by a pretty significant margin. I think that tells you now, when you see the times, just what a drive that was from Ekstrom. Solberg takes this one from Kristoffersson. Kristoffersson was super fast when he was released. Did a very, very quick lap time on lap 3, fastest lap of the day, but because of that hold up behind Gronholm, not enough. Gronholm looking down in 8th, but it is Matthias Ekstrom who wins Q3. So backward look, not enough RPM.
Yeah, you see him, the car just bogs and looks like he has to get back on the starter to get going again, so unfortunately not the start for him. Interestingly here, Johan's hanging it just out, giving his teammates some room, but Gronholm finding some room somehow just to get it up the inside of him.
This was strong from Gronholm, wasn't it? Really strong here. Look, he even gives Solberg a little nudge, and Kristoffersson out on the dirt there can't get the traction to get inside him again.
Yeah, he was quite aggressive there, but I'd say he's pretty fair as well. You know, these guys know they have to sort of make their own windows to make the passes.
And that's making a
fine example of that one. So
made the window and fitted it. That was it. Yeah, it's done. So that was Hansen getting through the gap. Kristoffersson, I say, was very, very quick once he was released. So would he have been able to take the fastest time in this one? Doesn't matter. He wasn't able to. On this occasion, the session goes to Ekstrom.
Petter, it's a great race win, but there's a lot of smoke in the car. What's going on?
The first lap was very bad. You know, in turn number 3, I was pushed two times properly, and the smoke the first lap, it was really difficult to see. So I took quite calm because I'm afraid of the puncture like I had in front. So by the end of the day, it was a good finish anyway. So I'm pleased with that, actually. You know.
Okay, let's go and get this car sorted out.
Sorry?
Get the car sorted out. Stop the smoke.
Yeah, we will fix it now.
Thank you.
Petter Solberg still the top qualifier. Matthias Ekstrom with that win holds on to his second place. Then it's Kristoffersson, Hansen, Loeb. Backrud was P3 overnight, drops down to P6. Gronholm and Kevin Eriksson top 8. One session to go. This is the important part. Schischrit, Hansen, Anton Markland, and Yanis Balmanis. Hansen down in P10. Actually, I'm surprised he didn't go further down than that with a retirement in Q3. It's Timosyanov, Larsen and Demoustier who want to fight their way in. Look at Timoluk. He's only 1 point off the back of Balmanis and 2 off the back of Markland. All to play for. So, super slippery session, track developing. For me, if you look at Kristoffersson's lap time when he was released from Gronholm, I think he was the fastest. We saw fastest lap of the day, but not able to get it done. On the way up to turn 1, I think he was going to go Joker and push everyone wide, but he realised Kevin Hansen had beaten him at the start.
Yeah, so he wasn't able to get across there, and also Niklas was there blocking him from being able to duck out. You know, if he went to go to the Joker lap, he would have probably full throttled into Niklas, so it wouldn't have been perfect for him there. So he just had to hang on in there, give Petter a bit of room, and try and tuck in, but Gronholm somehow just found the traction there.
Yeah, good start by Gronholm. Lost out in the end, so it ended up being a P1 and a P2 with Solberg and Kristoffersson. Solberg's car with a bit of smoke. Yeah, he said he was hit 3 times. It was a little nudge from Gronholm. Yeah, that's back to dramatic, Petter. We love him for it, though. But yeah, okay, the pace is clearly there in the Polo, but this track is developing, and it's interesting to see that Ekstrom was able to get that job done.
Yeah, I'm surprised he was able to do it. You could see in the last qualifying session there that there's starting to be that blue groove we were talking about yesterday. So the grip is there, and it just shows that Matthias kept himself on a super clean run just to get all these lines perfect and get the time down.
And that is very much the racing driver in him, and we see that in Thompson as well, just able to hold on and just wait on that throttle down, particularly in these tight, long hairpins. You've got to be patient because you get one wheel in the sludge and you're gone.
Yeah, it's very easy to try and get on the throttle early here, and as soon as you do that, the cars started sending sideways because obviously you've still got a bit of steering angle in the corner. So if these guys light the throttle up too early, they'll be sideways on the way out of the corner, and they're not able to get the perfect drive on the way out.
And looking at the weather around here, your thoughts on the rest of the day in Q4? It's looking better than it was.
Yeah, I hope it stays dry because it's good to see a developing track and some really fast lap times. And plus, I don't want to get wet, so
mainly. Us British people. The first thing he sent me this morning was a weather report. But with English people, we do like to talk about the weather. Right, Neil Cole's managed to get hold of Kevin Hansen. Let's go and have a catch up with them. We'll see you later.
Kevin, we've got you fresh out of the car. You were in that last race, and we just about beat you back to the Peugeot garage. First of all, talk us through your race. Some very good moves in there.
Yeah, I think it was a great start again. My engine engineer is doing an amazing job, really just guessing the grip we have, and really proud to have him this weekend. And I felt really good. I had a great launch, as I said, and could move in front, which was, I think, very important. Then maybe not quite as fast as I wanted, but nice battles on track with Niklas, and I'm still quite fresh out of the car, sweating with my glasses. So no, but it was a great race, and I was very proud with that start.
Now it's good to see sort of clean fighting out there because there are so many different lines. Talk us through how you've kind of analysed the circuit and how you've chosen, because the Grand Prix circuit with the rumble strip for the Formula 1 cars, you can ignore that. You can go super wide or you can go tight. Talk us through the analysis of the circuit.
Yeah, so the circuit is, I think, the shortest and most narrow we have on the calendar. It's really no straights, and the gravel is very compact, and when it's been a bit of rain like today, it really loosens up, and we have some dirt and some mud, which is very tricky. So on this track, it's the first time we come here, and to not have any experience, to see what happens to the gravel when it arrives rain is really tricky. So it was good to be in the last race. To
just talk us through what's happening here.
On the TV, missing a bit of speed, I think, just where we are now, and the VW is just a bit ahead. So no, but it's really tricky with the track you arrive to like this, and you don't have any experience what happens when it arrives rain. So now we're starting to get an idea, and but the humidity here is insane, so it's really tricky weather.
It's tricky for everyone.
Yeah.
Finally, obviously you would have heard when you were ready on the pre-grid for your race that Timmy didn't make the start properly, he had to pull off. Do you know what the problem was with this car? Because we haven't been able to speak to him.
Yes, I know the problem, and I think they are making some big work now. We didn't have time between warm-up and Q3, so I don't want to say too much. You can speak to my boss and he will answer, but they are making the changes now, and hopefully it will be okay for the next run. It's sad to see him have a problem because he has the speed, and he did a lot of work overnight with the car, so I think he can be fast today.
But when you were on the start line, did that give you some anxiety that it might have the same problem happen to you?
No, not at all. The problem is really, these two are very different, the cars, and mine is last year, so I don't have the same problem as they could have. So at the moment mine is working fine. It's nice, and it's a bit of battle scars on it, so let's go out in Q4 and hopefully get another great time.
Okay, well done, Kevin. Thank you very much. You can hand the microphone to Ollie, let you go and have a debrief over there. So that is it for qualifying 3. Thank you very much for joining us here at the Circuit of the Americas. We'll be back very soon for qualifying 4, and of course you can watch the semi-finals and the final live of round 10 of the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship here from Austin, Texas.